Thank you so much, everybody. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. Um, Today has been amazing. I am so inspired by all of your beautiful stories. So thank you for being vulnerable, sharing your beautiful wisdom with all of us. I'm just so grateful to be here. I'm going to tell my story and hopefully give you some takeaways as well to get clear and get creative in your life. So growing up, I didn't feel like I fit in many different ways. I had a rare autoimmune disease that the medical community, my peers, and even myself didn't understand. I tried so hard in school to fit in and do well, um, you know, to compensate from the pain and dislocations that my body was experiencing. And I leaned on music more than anything, not only to just escape in it, but to express things that I couldn't put into words. But with that, I struggled with the core subjects in school, test taking and just answering the right questions. And I struggled a lot. So by the time I was out of high school, I had 3 hip surgeries, and my life really revolved around managing my autoimmune disease, while just trying to keep up with everybody else and keep up with my education. So moving on to college, I went to school for music, naturally, and I just soon realized that I couldn't keep carrying my instrument around campus and walking to classes because my autoimmune disease was getting really debilitating. So I switched to online school. I worked full time. I went to school at night and I went to doctor appointments and paid medical bills. And that was my life for a long time. Um, my autoimmune disease took another turn. And I was just feeling more alone than ever. And at this time, I had moved away from my support system. And I actually got a job in corporate America. And at the time, it was everything I wanted. It was marketing, it was music, it was exciting, all except for the burnout and excessive travel and the lack of passion and fulfillment. And I couldn't quite understand because I had everything I had thought I wanted, everything I had asked for, but there was still a missing piece. So I had been coping for so long to keep up with the trends, what my peers were doing, with what my disease was progressing to, and just really held in by my own timelines. And so I was realizing that the face looking back at me in the mirror, I didn't recognize it anymore. And I was just really lost. And this went on for another year and a half because I didn't know what to do. I was treading water. I was keeping myself busy and distracted. And then one night I was on a business trip and I was sitting alone in a hotel room, and I just heard something inside of me speak to me saying that it was time to start my own business. So began my dream, and I started managing musicians' careers. It was an artist management business. So I handled everything from everything day to day, from booking them gigs to managing their finances to marketing them to all of it. And it was music and it was business, and it should have been great. And I even got 2 musicians signed in 3 months, and I was telling everyone. And to horrifying realization, 6 months later, I had that nagging voice in my head again. And it spoke to me saying something needs to change. And that feeling of unfulfillment crept back in again. And it was time for another pivot. Of course, I was embarrassed because I had worked so hard to get this business up off the ground. And here I am feeling like I need to change it again. So I pivoted, and I took a long look at myself. I was not feeling creative. I did not have new ideas. I wasn't passionate about anything. My relationship suffered. I was feeling that shame from a failed business and feeling low achievement despite all of my corporate job success at a young age. And then I moved to another city. And on my way, everything in me wanted to turn back around and go back to what I was comfortable with and what I knew. And as I was driving, a snowy owl flew alongside my car and landed on the side of the road as I passed, and we made eye contact. And there was just a sense of peace and calm within me. And when I got to my new house and my new destination, I pulled in the driveway and I looked up what a snowy owl represented. And it represents growth and following your dreams and inner knowing and wisdom and steadiness. So that night I got really quiet. I didn't have really any furniture in my house, and I just sat there and I found a little bit of meaning. Um, how can I create a life of my dreams if I'm not clear on who I am and what I want? And I had never realized that. I didn't take the time to actually think about that. I was really influenced by what society wanted me to be and what my family and friends wanted me to be, and the social expectations that I never sat with myself and thought about my creativity and my clarity on life. So little by little, I started improving my mind and my body and my spirit. I started balancing every area of my life. And to my surprise, I found that my creativity increased and my inspiration was found within me, instead of looking outside like I had been this whole time trying to find it. And you see, our brain prioritizes our basic needs over our creativity. So here I was, not paying attention to anything else in my life that my soul and spirit and body needed. And my creativity and my passion were feeling that reaction. Our education system is built on finding the right answers, and many times just finding one way to get to that right answer. The problem with that is that our creativity muscles, they weaken, and we start grabbing at anything external to find meaning and to find those answers. And so we feel lost. We're all born with creativity, and there is a belief that only the few chosen people are creative, the artist, the writer. But the fact is that we're all born with creativity. We have to have creativity to evolve as a society. And so the definition of creativity that we often don't learn is just, it's innovation. It's bringing two unrelated things together and making something new. So when we're taught in school to find that one right answer and not taught to find multiple ways to get to that answer, we tend to get lost in the real world because there are many ways to do one thing instead of just answering A on a test. And that young girl in school didn't realize that. She was battling with health and finding herself with a major identity crisis because she was looking outside to fill her cup and to let the world and her disease tell her who and what she is, and that there was only one way to get where she was going, and she couldn't have it all figured out. And so the truth is that until I found what I was clear on in my life, the universe just couldn't figure out what I needed. So until you can get clear on where you are right at this moment and what you want and those moments of creative inspiration, it's going to be hard to figure out how to get there. We need clarity before creativity. So I encourage you, if you're feeling lost and you're not feeling creative and you're feeling a little unsure of your purpose, for creativity and clarity to truly unfold, it's found through attention to mind, body, and spirit. So take a look at your happiness in life. Take a look at what new experiences you're having in your life. Are you spending time playing and having fun, or are you working a lot? How are your relationships and your idea of accomplishment in your life? Take a look at your health and self-care. And once you start taking inventory of where you are at right now, you can start making those changes one building block at a time. And little by little, your clarity is going to follow on where you're supposed to go. Your creativity is going to flow, and you're going to start to uncover that unique light that you were born with that has just been clouded by all of these expectations. So thank you for allowing me to speak. I do have a Clarity Business Planner for download. I'll post it in the chat. And I also have a free Facebook community where we empower women to get clear, to get creative, and to get fulfilled and ultimately unlock their true purpose. So thank you, everyone. And it's such an honor to be here with you guys.